What's up guys, Coach Jameson. In this second video in the series of taking conventional movements that we see in the fitness industry and just making them a little bit more translatable to our most common foundational movement of forward locomotion, walking, jogging, and sprinting, we're going to be going over the lunge. A very, very common movement and exercise in the fitness world, in the gym world. I'm sure you see it a lot, or maybe you do it. I'm just going to show you how to do it a little bit more safer to create stronger, more durable patterns and keep our joints safe for life. I have a couple different tools to use here. I have some dumbbells, a 20-pound medicine ball, and I have a 15-pound plate. The one thing over the last few years I've done is completely ditched loading a barbell on my back. I'm not saying you have to do that, just in terms of my body and how it feels. I've gotten rid of it because it creates a lot of rigidity in the spine, really axially compresses the spine in an unwanted way that doesn't feel good in my body. Again, I'm not telling you to not do it. If using a barbell is something you like, you can go ahead and take the patterns I'm showing you today and for sure use a barbell and add a little bit more rotation, but I'm gonna want you to be just a little bit more careful when you're doing that. So let's go ahead and start just with the pattern. So let's come up to a standing position. The common lunge we see in the fitness world, we step, we load, we see this very linear pattern, knee driving straight forward. Sometimes we'll see a lot of people collapse as they go to step up. So we'll see this happening a lot. Step, load, collapsing in. From the side view, what we also see too is a very vertical torso. Now, I want to take this into something that translates to forward locomotion. So the things we're going to focus on as always is a strong foot, that second toe straight, nice strong arch, strong glutes. Make sure we're loading out and back, not down and in like we traditionally see a lot happening in the weightlifting and fitness industry. And then last but not least is paying attention to the knee. Again, adding a little bit of rotation. So when I come into this lunge, like I said, I'm loading out and back off this strong foot. So how this would look when taking more of a rotational spiral movement into this exercise is as I step and load, the first thing I'm going to be mindful of is not landing onto my heel. I'm going to think of a nice, soft, absorbed landing more to the front outer edge of the foot, and I'm going to think of pulling that hip back. To start, we're not going to go all the way down. We can take this all the way knee to the ground into a loading pattern, but I just want you to notice the difference from here, more vertical, upright torso, a tendency to load down and in, and then from where we're taking it to pull that loading hip out and back, and notice my torso loads with it. These are the same patterns we see during forward locomotion. Nice strong foot, load out and back, chest, and the whole body, the whole system is synchronized together. We're not linear, robotic, collapsing inwards, kind of loading pressure into our joint capsules. We want to kind of reverse that and load it out and back off that strong foot. So what it would look like without weight is we take a nice step, pull out and back, that back leg, again, everything, the whole system is rotating together. So notice that back kneecap is pointing in, same direction as this left kneecap, same direction as my chest. If you want to know more about this, you can set up an assessment. I'll go over the education of why we're doing what we're doing. We load, we step forward, step, into the next step, same thing, load out and back. Now, if you want to add weight to this, what I would do is suggest first owning that loading out and back pattern off a strong foot. Once you feel like you got that down, then we can add weight. Let's go with a 10-pound dumbbell. This is where I'd start at first, or a weight vest, putting like 10 to 15-pound weight vest on so we don't have to worry about holding any sort of external devices. But with this dumbbell I can hold here, I can step, load, pull out and back, step back forward, load to the other side. From the side view, just so you can see this pattern, I step forward, I load, pull out and back. Notice my heel is down, but it's light. We can progress this movement into the heel being up. But for starters, work with that heel down, find that strong foot and ankle without collapsing. And pulling out and back, I would step forward, same thing with my right side. Step, pull, load out and back. How deep you go is up to you. You can use 2 dumbbells here. This makes the rotation a little weird having these external devices, but it doesn't mean we can't do it. So I'd step, load out and back. Step, load out and back. Give you a little back view of this. I would step, load, out and back to my right side, rotate, step up, step, load out and back to my left side, step up. So then you can see we're just taking what is very linear and kind of midline stabilized, and we're adding these rotations that we see in natural forward movement. I can take a ball and I can even make this stationary. So with the ball, I'll show you more of a stationary, maybe more of a step back lunge, where I'll step left foot back, load in my right side, step back up. Take the weight to that loading side, pull that loading hip back. Notice, kneecap is opening. I'm not collapsing down and in. Side view, so again, you can see as I step back, I'm not staying vertical with my torso. My torso is staying pitched forward, my hips back behind me, driving. Load out and back, load out and back. Again, when you feel confident, you can start working with an elevated heel. That's how we'd use the ball. Plate, same thing. Keep it close to the body, load out and back. Again, keep this pattern going as deep or as shallow as you want. I would suggest maybe starting with a little bit more of a shallow movement and then working into dropping into the full range, which again can be useful because if we think about things like getting off the ground from our seiza position, that's where we'd see that pattern translate. I would step up, here's that lunge pattern, load out and back, step up nice and strong. So that's how we would modify our lunge, taking it from our more conventional linear midline stabilized pattern into the rotations that we see in forward locomotion. Let me know if you have any questions. Go ahead and give it a shot and let me know what you think.